Hello, my name is Mercy Curry, and I will be presenting our data on behalf of the Outliers. We decided to use this project as an opportunity to study the relationship between political stability and the economy. We chose this topic because after watching throughout the past year as political tensions have risen, while many countries continue to face economic turmoil, as well as studying a multitude of countries in our AP comparative government class, we saw a pattern in the relationship between political stability and the economy. We noticed that stronger countries, or governments with stronger political stability, tend to have stronger economies than other countries with lower political stability, such as Iran or Nigeria, which also have weaker economies. So we use this project as an opportunity to analyze the data to see if our assumptions hold up. Our questions coming in were, how did GDP relate to political stability? In this case, GDP will be averaged over 10 years, and how political stability related to poverty in a nation. Our chosen countries were Afghanistan, Finland, France, Haiti, New Zealand, South Korea, Sri Lanka, Sudan, the United States of America, and Uruguay. These countries vary in their economic, political, and geographical positions. We chose these countries so that we could eliminate bias based on specific regions or specific types of governance in order to allow this data to be generalized to the entire population. To start, GDP versus stability. Originally, we believed that we would find a strong correlation between the two. However, after collecting data from both World Bank and the global economy, we found that there was a weak, non-linear relationship between them. With a p-value of 0.826, such as seen in graph 1, there is no association between the two. We tried multiple ways to re-express this data in a way that would linearize it more, as seen in graph 2, but we had no success, meaning that we continue to have no evidence to support an association. However, this was much different when we looked at stability versus poverty. Poverty is defined as the percentage of people in a country who make under $6.85 a day. This relationship ended up being very strong, linear, and negative, and with an R value of 66.07, meaning that 66.07% of the variation in the percentage of people living under the poverty line can be explained by its linear relationship between poverty and political stability. This data had a p-value of 0.14, which is less than the assumed alpha of 0.05, meaning that we must reject the possibility that there is no association between the two. After seeing that, well, there's no evidence to support a relationship between the GDP of an overall country and stability, but there was a lot of evidence to support a relationship between poverty and political stability. We decided to run a regression test on the relationship between GDP per capita and political stability. As seen in graph 1, there is a strong positive linear relationship between the two. However, we did notice this one outlier here at 0.17 thousand. So we decided to run the regression again without the outlier, as seen in graph 2. And the results were even more convincing. With a p-value of 0.005, it was very clear to us that there is an association between the two. So what we found, just summarized, there is not enough evidence to prove an association between the political stability of a nation and its GDP growth. But our model does suggest a somewhat strong association between the percentage of impoverished people in a nation and its stability. There was also a very strong relationship between the average GDP per capita and the stability of a nation. What we got from this data is that the government plays a large part in its citizens' economic status, meaning that the government can affect how the economy works for its citizens, but it does not have direct control over the growth of its country. The data indicates that governments that want to increase their political stability and legitimacy should invest in ways that directly aid the people within the country, such as social welfare, unemployment, benefits, and Medicaid. Thank you for your time, and we really appreciate you giving us this opportunity.